So I wanted to know, like, how did you get? What was your acting bug? How did you get into acting, and what was your inspiration coming from East LA, and and doing the great work that you do? I was watching Happy Place last night, and so just like she's done from TV to film, and just being a multifaceted artist.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. And thank you guys for coming to hear me talk. But yeah, so for me, I think I always wanted to act. I think as a kid, up until like 10, everyone just thought I was like a huge attention seeker, which I still consider myself one. But then the unfortunate part, I went to elementary school and middle school in Whittier, and there were no art departments. There was no theater class. You had to wait until you got into high school, and even then, it was the more money high school, and I went to the other one. Um, so finally, one year we had a fifth grade play, and I auditioned, and that was the first time I had ever done any theater, any like actual acting. Um, and from there, I realized that it was what I wanted to do, but uh, I really had to seek it out because arts classes are not as common as they should be in every school district, which is really unfortunate. Um, but I had the support of my family and my community. I credit Boyle Heights to a lot of how I've gotten to where I am today. Casa 0101 with Josefina Lopez, amazing theater company. They offer youth classes, adult classes, and they helped me get an agent, a headshot, all of that. So,
And for you to play this character so well, what did you pull from? What did you Women that inspired you? What helped you get into this character?
I think it with this movie, it was really easy because it was so focused on family that I just got to look towards my mom, my tias, my abuelitas, like on either side of my family, and took inspiration from all of them because at the core, I think Milagro is just a really strong woman coming to terms with herself and her family. Um, and being able to look to my family and bring those characters to life was really an honor.
And how has it been switching from film to television? And what has been that experience for you?
Um, Well, I think one big thing, we were so lucky on Blue Beetle to have it be pretty much an entirely Latina crew and cast. And that's something that is so special. And I think we all kind of didn't realize how good we had it until it left. And being on other projects now where I'm the only Latino or like one of four, it really does feel different and it changes how we come to work every day. I feel that it changes the like performance that I give because there's just a comfortability when you're with like-minded people who see you and hear you and not just like brush over you. But all that to say that it's still an honor to go to work even in those spaces where I don't feel the most seen because we're making ourselves seen, and I'm hoping that in a year 2 years from now, you know it's going to be way more of us out there.
And how do you feel like you really working on your craft? I remember that art school that you went to in high school. Um, how did that help your development as an actress?
Yeah, well, I went to Loxa, which is a public arts high school. Yeah, Loxa. Public arts high school, and I kind of just researched that online because I saw the show Victorious in middle school and was like, this maybe could exist. Let me Google if it's real. And so it was, and so I just like told my parents I'm gonna audition for the school. Um, and I got in, and it totally did teach me pretty much everything I know. I didn't really go to like much training after that. Um, and Loxa is one of those few examples where they've turned out so many great artists. And it remaining a public school is so like vital, because more than half of those students, including me, couldn't have gone there if it were, cost money. Um, but I think they had so many, like, a diverse group of teachers, which I think really helped. We had so many people from different backgrounds. Not everybody was like trying to be an actor. Some of them had just really were like, I love the craft and I want you guys to love the craft. And I think that's important too when you're getting into this industry, to actually enjoy what you're doing and have love for it.
And do you have any words of encouragement for like some of these students want to be actors, they want to be creatives, they're right now they're taking some classes. This is a contemporary film history class.
Um, I would say that it's, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before because I know I heard it all the time, was that there's going to be more no's than yeses. Um, and that really is true. And I think the way to stick it out in this business and to be successful is to remind yourself of your own worth, that your work is worth seeing, is worth pushing to be like seen. And I think that's the hardest part of this industry, is just believing in yourself even when other people are passing, and it's that can be hard, but if you do that, you can be in this industry your whole life.
So we're gonna have some questions. If any of the students have any questions, Isabel, if you guys have any questions.
As I'm walking over here, I want to say thank you so much, Belissa, for being here today. Can we give Belissa a round of applause? Thank you so much. Um, yes, okay, PCC.
I went to the child care center here from infant to toddler.
So you have a close tie to our school, and I hope you know that we are all taking away some really valuable advice from Belissa. And what I'll have y'all do is share your name and your major, and then go ahead and ask your question.
Hi there, my name is Layla, and as of right now, I'm majoring in the contemporary film history class. And a question that I've got for you is, how long was the production for Blue Beetle, and how could I aspire to be like a writer or a creator in the film business or anything like that?
So production it only took 3 months, which for a movie of that caliber is really fast. Um, The Flash took a year. They had a whole year, and we were on a time crunch. This movie, we are very lucky to have it shown to you guys because we went through a lot of, you know, jump through hoops to get it finished. And for writing, I think it's it's about those little moments, like getting your friends together and putting on a staged reading, because it's the people that you invite and the connections that you make that in 3 years they're going to be like, oh, I have money to make this big feature film, and I remember I worked with this writer. And it's truly like, don't doubt the value of a connection, because they can come back and be huge and, like, yeah, lift each other up.
I'll go here and here.
Hi, my name is Alex. I am undecided. I went to CS Arts, which is an offshoot. Well, it's offshoot of OSHA, and I have a lot of friends that went to Loxa. So, I went to an art school and I went through whole that experience. But my question is, how were the special effects, like shooting with the special effects and using all that? Because I'm assuming that was like your first time doing all of that in Blue Beetle.
Yeah, special effects were so cool. I did some in Hocus Pocus 2, but the going from that to like Blue Beetle was like, you really saw how much work goes into special effects. I know the coolest thing was like they brought me into a room and it was just like a 360 of a bunch of mini cameras, and then they just have you like standing there like kind of like a video game, and they're just like taking pictures of everything. Um, but yeah, VFX put in a lot of work, and seeing what they did on set was really cool. I honestly have no idea how to explain what they did. It's hard, but thank you.
in previous adaptations of the Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes has always been Latino. Had he not been and it was changed for this film, do you think it would have been as well received?
Definitely not. I don't think so. I don't think the story of Blue Beetle. Um, I don't think there was a version of Blue Beetle that had as much heart as the story of Jaime Reyes does. Um, just in the comics alone, I mean, the difference between Jaime and so many other superheroes is his family and how much his family is in it with him. Um, and I don't think it could have been what it is. Now, would it have been received better? That's the industry talking.
Hi, my name is Layla, and I'm a film major slash media arts. And I liked how you mentioned that the Latino community, when you were working with them, it helped you feel better and more comfortable. Do you feel like when having that environment while filmmaking, it also helped you become more productive and closer with the people that you were working with?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think, on Blue Beetle, all of us, we shooting on location is always hard. You're away from thank you, from your family, and your people. And so us being able to sit in a dining room and feel like we were at our own family dinner, I think was something so sweet. And it's hard to recreate that. It's hard to recreate that familiarity. Um, I don't know, it was really crazy. Like, we all just were like, in that moment, I was like, this is my mom, this is my nana, like in real life. So I think it's an experience that it definitely changes the productivity. Yeah. Atlanta and Puerto Rico. Yeah, half and half.
Isabel, you had a question. Could you ask her about the importance of representation?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to kind of highlight that it's Latine month, like the value of community through all of this, like finding your community and leaning on your community, even in spaces where maybe you don't feel like there's a lot of community that exists. Maybe like, I'm wondering, how do you tap into your network, right? Like sometimes for Latinx students or just first gen students who maybe don't have a lot of industry experience and maybe we're getting our feet wet, right? And trying to explore out there. It's a little bit intimidating to think like, oh, I have to ask for help. Well, what do I bring to the table? How do you like navigate those conversations and like that experience?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Um, yeah, navigating those spaces, I think it's really, I feel like with in this industry, for me, I've been really lucky where I've been put into the situations where my community's there, and so I'm immediately like, oh, perfect, here you are. But I've spoken to a lot of Latina actors who didn't have that experience and for years had to build up their community and find other Latina actors. And I think um, we've worked so hard now where it's like, once you meet one of us, you meet all of us, and we can immediately put you in, the network. There are now, like Latinas Acting Up is like a union that Lisa Vidal is creating, but it's also focused on like bringing writers and directors up into the forefront, getting them like shadow spots on like a network TV show, stuff like that. And I think now we're building these groups where the community's ready for you, versus before it was really difficult. It was kind of building from nothing.
Hi, I'm Matthew. My major is social justice pre-law, but my other passion is also acting. How long did it take you to memorize the script, and like, what was the best like sort of like tools, I guess, that you use for that?
Um, Thank you. Yeah, for memorizing, I usually say I fall asleep with my script. Like, I'll just read it before bed and constantly, and then um, that's the biggest trick I use is saying it before bed and when you're brushing your teeth. Just any mindless activity, just start saying the lines, and that's how they stick for me. So, Um, but yeah, Blue Beetle. I was learning some of my lines in the makeup trailer. I wouldn't don't do that, but I did that. I did that. I will say.
Okay, great. Can you tell us a little bit about like industry culture? And for someone who's like just starting off, I know we probably have some folks who are interested in acting, maybe in pre and post production or directing. I'm kind of curious, how many of you are interested in that process of film creation, like the creation process? Okay, great. From your perspective as an actor, actress, what advice would you give to folks who are maybe getting their feet wet and maybe they have their own projects on the side? Like, what would you say are some tools and things that you've observed in the production process that you think might be helpful for someone who's just starting out?
Um, I think I think the biggest thing is producing your own work, like having something tangible to show people. Um, because in this industry, the higher ups are like the least creative people ever. So like you have to spell it out for them. Be like, no, this is what it would look like, and then he'd do this. Because if you tell them the big picture, they're gonna just immediately be like, okay, how much is it? No. So it's like it's unfortunate, but this industry is like convincing these like sleeping zombies to give you money and like put you in the space. And eventually we're gonna, you know, remove those zombies and put in creative people. But I think having your work on you, like a reel or, you know, scripts to send out, I think that's the most efficient way. Um, and then any way to get on a set, like a PA, like background actor. I've seen stand-ins. Next project, they're like an actor on the show. It really, you'd be surprised if you go back into like certain actors and directors and their come up. A lot of them, like Bill Hader was a PA. Gina Rodriguez was a stand-in for America Ferrera on Ugly Betty. Like it's getting your foot in doesn't always have to be at the big door. Like the littlest steps can get you there. So.
Can you tell us one thing about the power of nonprofits and community organizations where you get your like Casa 101? For a lot of filmmakers of color, our breaks come from Caribbean organizations, Latino, or they come from these nonprofits. They're the ones who, like, these churches hire you when you get out of film school, these nonprofit organizations. So you have the skill, you can say that you have a reel, because you've actually somebody hired you. So I think it's important. And people in institutions who see you, who are gonna give you opportunities to maybe shoot for work stories, who maybe shoot for, you know, so I think these things are really important. When you're in these institutions, because I was an intern at Cal State Northridge in the basically the media program. So we got to interview the president of the school. We got to learn like how the institution works and how to tell storytelling from an institutional perspective. So like what's the importance of nonprofits in the art sector?
Yeah, no, I think nonprofits are like those are the networks, those are the communities that are going to build you up. So reaching out and finding those, because there's so many of these nonprofits like give out grants, you know, to produce a script, and the all the opportunities are there. It's just in the little, you know, it's in the places you maybe wouldn't think to look. But it's in your community. And so like finding like the smaller film festivals that are happening and entering in those, and doing an acting class at your community theater. I mean, that's literally what got me my agent and started my career. So I think at the basis of it, the people who are going to get you where you need to be is your community.
Hello, my name is Piper. I'm a film major. So what I wanted to know is there anything else that you like to do other than acting when it comes to film? Do you want to pursue maybe writing, doing stuff behind the camera one day? Anything like that?
Yeah, I think Writing has always appealed to me, for sure. It's very intimidating. Kudos to all the writers out there. Writing, but what's been on my mind lately is actually editing. Got to sit in the color, what is it? The editing bay? Editing bay? Got to sit in that room and just like watch him work with his headphones on. And, you know, we do what we can as actors, but then we hand it away to the editors and they take such good care of it. It's like their baby. And being able to see right now, I got to watch a recent episode and it's like he made it just like 10 times better. I was like, you almost like changed the story just with your editing, but like in a great way. So I'd love to just sit in for 2 hours. My eyes would probably hurt, but I'd do it. Yeah.
And how can our students keep in touch with you? Social media, follow the new show that you're on?
Yes, yeah. My Instagram is Belissa E, and I have a new show coming out with Reba McEntire on NBC. It's called Happy's Place. It'll be out October 18th, Fridays at 8 p.m. Yeah.
And thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And we're gonna watch the film.
Yes, enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.